Hello, it's Thursday. Good grief. Time is definitely flying. Oh my gosh, so we're back here today from warm and pleasant South Carolina to slightly chilly Massachusetts. Oh boy, it's been a busy few days. I mean, I don't know why I even bother saying that. Every day is busy. So yesterday we had the terrible problem of the blocked toilet, and Carleen did not realise that somebody had very neatly tidied away the plunger. It was in the cupboard in the bathroom, and so all chaos ensued. But Nick went down and dealt with the overflowing toilets, and I went down and dealt with other issues that arose from the overflowing toilet. So we got it all under control. I will say that Carleen is back on antibiotics, and we know that life becomes very difficult for her when she's a bit off kilter. So she has a touch off kilter, and we're just hoping that antibiotics kick in nicely and help her feel better. She did say yesterday that she was getting quite worried because she wasn't able to exercise. It would be wonderful if she could wander up and down the driveway, but unless she's steady on her feet, has cleats on, and it promises not to fall over, it's the most dangerous place she could possibly go. So we were trying to think about indoor places, and I suggested the mall, because I know that there's a lot of people who actually, in the winter in Massachusetts, they go and walk around the mall before the stores open. Not that we were going to do that, but she said that actually she would really like to go to Aldi, because she'd never been. So we decided that we would make an appointment for this afternoon, and I would pick her up and we would go to Aldi, which we did. And it was actually a super place to go because the aisles were nice and wide and it wasn't very busy. And she just took her trolley after paying her 25 cents to take it from the trolley park, and she wandered around there very happily, and it was nice and flat, nice and safe. I really think that was super. We have tomorrow, Jackie and Amy are coming. They're bringing her pizza and dessert. I can't believe they asked this, but they said, does Carleen still eat desserts? I was like, yes, she most definitely does adore a bit of dessert. So they're going to come about 11:30 tomorrow and visit with Carleen, which is lovely. And I think she's going to say to them, well, instead of taking one of the dogs out, would they take her out? Which I think might be, not tomorrow, but in future visits, which I think might be very much appreciated, because there's nowhere outdoors that she can go and exercise. And let's remember, she's emptied building 25, and Janine will be overawed at the amount of things that she has managed to bring into her White House. And we need to balance reality with her living space, and in all honesty, if she wants to be surrounded by her belongings that bring her joy, well then let's have at it. So there's not enough room basically for her to wander around inside safely. So she's we're going to have to find places where we can decant to with flat surfaces and no ice underfoot. So there we go. So that worked out really well today. And yesterday, as you all know, Janine did a wonderful mail chat from South Carolina, and it's very exciting to see Angus, who he's just a little sweetheart, really, isn't he? We all adore Angus. And today was Hunt, and we haven't been to Hunt since way before Christmas, so it was lovely to go back, and it was so nice to see familiar faces. And it was just me actually, because Carol was busy, and Carol has very kindly stepped in while Judy and Janine are away, and she is super, because she's very organised and she comes and helps me, and I very much appreciate that. So it was just me, Larky and Moose today, which actually went very well. And I appreciate both Moose and Larky being there. Otherwise, I would just be going around speaking to people. But it was a good day. And tomorrow we think, and we'll have to confirm this in the morning, that we have Rainbow. And that I do like going to Rainbow. Rainbow's always a really lovely place to visit as well. So that would just be Larky, Moose, Carol, and myself. So that's unless we get crazy snow overnight. And it's very peculiar. I am losing all faith in weather forecasting. It's either exceptionally difficult now, or they're not paying attention, because it was supposed to be initially snow and then rain overnight. And we seem to get about 2 inches of snow. So no rain, which is probably good, because we would have had ice. And the temperatures are really not particularly bad today. So in preparation, so it's going to be, Friday night is going to be 2 degrees, which is not pleasant and it's not fun. But I think we're in good condition in preparation for the storm. Michelle brought us some straw, so I've got straw to make extra bedding and keep everybody cozy. We'll obviously continue to super pack the hay bags, so we keep the hay going as long as possible. I think if you saw on the video yesterday, to make sure that we have as much fluid intake as we possibly can. The donkeys and any other animals are having flavoured water. It's like drinks from the bar. That's just to encourage them to drink as much water, and they have it in tepid water, so it doesn't cause their stomachs to say, ooh, that's a bit chilly, and take their core temperature down. It keeps them at a nice temperature. It encourages them to drink, because that's what we really want, particularly at this time of year. So lots of preparation going into this. They have also, Carleen has decided she would like the plough on her car. The only problem we have with the plough is we can get it on the car, and it's supposed to angle from a controller inside the car. It's supposed to angle to the left and then to the right. It's only angling one way at the moment. So that could be super duper fun, but Bao and Nick are trying to get pieces to get that sorted. Tomorrow we'll be picking up lots of gas for the snow blower and for the generator that is outside Carleen's house. We just hope we don't have to use it, because it's never fun. And yeah, so that's us getting ourselves all prepared. There's another delivery of heating pellets for Carleen's house coming through tomorrow, so she'll be toasty, and all we really need to do is be able to fire up the pellet stove, and that would keep her going. The dogs are comfortable. Carleen at the moment is comfortable, and she's getting on with things. I think she'll feel a lot better, actually. I think she's been brewing this infection for quite some time, and it's one of the usual infections that she gets. And I think it just knocks her for six. It makes her extremely tired and slightly emotional, because it just doesn't feel right. So we started, Nick picked up her antibiotics last night, and she started them last night. So let's hope they'll start taking a good hold and make her far more comfortable in the next few days. That would be nice. So all the animals are well accommodated. We've got a job tomorrow, and then jobs coming into the following week. And it's going to be cold. But we can all cope with the cold. I keep telling myself, positive affirmations. We can cope with the cold. It's the frozen water I hate. I really hate frozen water. What you do not see off camera is we actually have a heated water trough. It is in operation 24 hours a day, but it does get shut off at night time because we have to close the barn doors. It's outside the donkey cafe, and it is always filled almost to the top, and the de-icer works perfectly. It is away from hay, it is away from anything else. We're always paranoid about barn fires. We don't like having heating systems, we don't like having anything that has the potential to get anything aflame. So that's over there. That's why we do not use bucket heaters inside the barn. And it sounds really quite silly, but there are so many reports of people having bucket heaters that short circuit, that cause problems, and you would think that, you know, hey, look, there's water involved in it, that would put out anything, but no, it's a barn, it's full of dust, it's full of animal dander, and it's just not a good combination and not a risk that we're really willing to take. So we do our very best to keep everything flowing, everybody hydrated, and moving forward that way. There will probably be a lot of refilling of buckets going on Saturday and Sunday and into Monday, and that's just the way it is. But during the day, they have access, you know, full access to this water, and that's important to remember. And it was interesting, somebody made a comment about, you know, why our donkeys weren't blanketed. And our donkeys are actually, we're very fortunate, they're not particularly old. They're all carrying a good amount of weight, and they have grown a secondary coat. I have my hands on the animals on a daily basis, and if you touch one of the donkeys and your finger happens to go in between their coat and their skin, they're actually really quite nice and toasty. So they're actually coping very well. One of the difficulties, and we do have coats for them should anybody show signs of being excessively cold. The thing is, as soon as you put a coat on any animal, what you do is you flatten the coat towards the skin, so you lose that insulating layer of hot air, nice warm air that they've gone to the trouble of heating up, and it's not ideal. So we try to keep them as generating their own heat as much as we possibly can, and we do that through extra hay. We do that through keeping them inside if it's wet. We also have them, and this is, I think, where we're exceptionally fortunate in that our donkeys have a really big space which is wind tight, and it's the wind chill that's actually a really massive problem. They're in that arena, and it's a fantastic space for them. They can move around, they can wrestle with each other, they can keep themselves going. Because another concern is animals who are stall bound, and sometimes it is essential, but another, we're trying to avoid colic at all costs. And one of the essential activities that goes towards trying to avoid colic is keeping everybody mobile and moving, because that helps the stomach to process and keep things moving on through. So that arena really is a real godsend for us, because everybody can keep moving. They move from hay bag to hay bag. They're very picky with their hay bags at the moment. Their hay bags in the arena are still the ones that were put out last night. They still have hay in them. They went and ate the ones that were outside today and then came back in, and they're just picking away at it. So I'm going to fill them up once we've finished mail chats and get them all going for the night. But at the moment, there's only 4 donkeys in the arena. The too many horses are in a stall. Woody is in the small stall to the left-hand side of the cows, and our cows are in with Sally and the 2 chickens, and then you know where the goats are and the other turkeys. So it's a nice full barn. There's a lot of heat generated, and actually, once I get moving, I don't have gloves on. I really wear my gloves so that I don't stab myself with the hay. So it's really generating quite a good ambient temperature, which is also fortunate, because there's nothing worse than shivering in a barn. That much I do know. Now, this came through, and they were at the end of the driveway in a snowdrift, and I am pretty sure Carleen started opening them, but she said I had to take them over here. I'm pretty sure these are our flaked peas from Bob and Lisa. This is supposed to be in the open. Ah, yes, they are. And thank you, because not only are our bunny rabbits eating them, our chickens and turkey are also having them at the end of the day as well, just to give them a little extra something. So that is very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Now, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I need to start writing this down because honestly, it comes into my brain and then it disappears. I've got so many things going in circles. Circles, circles, circles. Right, let's go on with questions. I actually used to shop in Aldi in Scotland, and we had an Aldi, you know, well, we've been here, what, 13 years? No, it's 15 years. Yeah, it must be 15 years. And before then, Aldi, you know, had been in Scotland for a good number of years. I used to love it. Oh, I'll tell you how Carleen's mouth is after surgery. So she had 2 stitches put in, and we were sitting in the car going to Aldi, and she said, you know, once your tongue finds something alien in your mouth and you can't stop annoying it. I was like, are you playing with your stitches? She went, I am. And then the next thing is she went, there's one. I'm like, well, I hope that was ready to come out and you didn't undo it with your tongue. So her stitches are just fine. If her mouth falls out, it's because she undid the knots. Honestly. Oh. Hello. So, lady, where are you? I thought you were in Florida. But it looks like from chat that you're not. Ooh. 14 to 16 inches in New Jersey. That's not fun. Ooh, Nancy, that's not very nice. Well, you know, the funny thing is, it was really very pleasant today. And when you're actually out in the sunshine, and I think this is why the donkeys do this, the donkeys come out of that arena. Now, they've eaten all night. They go out, and then they stand and they sunbathe on the hill. And the sun is actually beautifully warm if you're right in a direct ray of sunshine, and there's no wind, so it's actually been very pleasant. We've been very, very lucky. I will not be saying that next week. Oh, that's a lot of snow. Yeah, I think, you know, the snow is one thing. It really actually is the ice that's the problem, because it is lethal, absolutely awful. Oh, Jemmy is hilarious. So I feed Jemmy in the aisle because otherwise Elvis just eats hers because he's very fast at eating. And she is a very slow and dainty eater, apart from the fact that she does like to put her foot in the bowl to hold it steady. And I always bring her up because I'm getting her used to me and, you know, walking past her with the wheelbarrow and I just sort of drop a hand down and stroke her on her back, because she's still quite shy and quite nervous at times. So she comes up with me while I muck the goat stall out. And it was really lovely because last night when I fed her, I don't know if I had said this, but it used to be when I took her out to feed her, she would get a bit, she would eat and then she'd call for Elvis just to reassure herself that he was over there. And now she's stopped calling for Elvis and he's like, Moo, where are you? And she's like, nothing to do with me. because she went up and she started having a snack of hay, and then she went down to see the donkeys, and she was just wandering around quite happily, you know, just curious as to what was happening. So it's good because I feel we're very slowly making progress, and she's just lovely to have round about with you. And sometimes also in the morning I have the turkeys and the turkey and the two chickens with me, and they wander up and down the barn just supervising, really supervising. It's just so lovely. They're a really nice group of animals that we've got here. So that's exciting. And she's just getting better. She's a funny little cow, is our Jenny. I'm very fond of her. Yeah, I think we're all having to prepare for snow. Oh my gosh, 18 to 14 inches in Connecticut. Oh. Yes, I am speaking with the trainer about Boom after mail chat. So that will be good to find out how he's getting on. I also spoke with Sharon today, and I think what we're tentatively aiming to do is for Boom, when he's ready, to go home with Sharon. The thing is, with this kind of training, you really have to be with the dog almost constantly, because if you don't maintain the training, you lose it. And when Annie came back from working with Colby, I used to, I think you probably don't remember, but I used to do 10,000 steps before 9 o'clock in the morning, because I would take her out on training walks. We went on the rail trail, and there's lots of dogs and people and runners and cyclists on the rail trail, and I would just take her out. We'd work on our heel work, we'd work on our loose work, and we went all over the place, and just to maintain the understanding between herself and myself of my expectations and what I was hoping she would achieve. And it I think, touch wood, it has paid off, and she still has moments when she's an absolute pain in the ass, but she's still pretty young, and she does actually know what she's supposed to be doing. Apart from that goat, she hates that goat with a vengeance. It just is, I think she just remembers when the goat rolled her down the hill, and she was terrified of, and this is Mabel with the horns, she's terrified of Mabel, but now I think when she sees Mabel, she's just like, rah, 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 and chases her, and Mabel's not 100% sure what to do any longer. So yeah, that's something we have to keep an eye on, but it's all getting there. You know, it's progress. We're not instantaneously fantastic. So we're getting there. There's a lot going on, and we'll see what the report is from Boom. But you know, the aim for Boom really is to get him into a position where he's behaving in the way that we would like a good citizen to behave, and help him as best possible. And he is very much the family dog, so it would be wonderful if he was able to go back home with his family and behave in a suitable fashion. So that would be lovely. Mandy, at this precise moment, and remember everything changes, but at this precise moment in time, Mandy is staying. Justin is very taken with her, and she's doing well. She very definitely likes one-on-one time, so that's something that is also pretty good. So we'll see how that goes, and how we progress with that. It's very difficult because at this precise moment in time, you know, for this farm here, we're 2 people short, and that being those 2 people being Janine and Judy, and those are, you know, massive components to the farm. So from that shortage, it makes it very difficult we've got the farm covered, we've got Carleen covered, we've got the driveway covered, we've got Meredith covered, we've got the outreach jobs covered. But to then start bringing in another dog to train, it really is just, it might just be the straw that breaks the camel's back. And please remember, we also have Miss Willow, who is a total stunner. She is just full of the joys of being a puppy, and she's such a lovely girl. But this is another dog that we're going to have to get going with as well. So there's so much going on, but we get there, and that's just, you know, this is just the way of life when you work with animals, and we do get there in the end. And you know, we maintain the appropriate attitude and positive attitude, I think, is the important part. So that's the update there. Yes, I have a sunroom. I have a cockatiel in the sunroom, and he's lovely because he talks all the time. Carol, I don't care what kind of snow we're getting. It's still snow, and then you know what happens? It goes to slush and ice. That's the bit I'm worried about. But fluffy snow is a heck of a lot better than wet, soppy snow that hangs on the branches. You're quite right. Yeah, that will be good, Nancy. Well, you know, it's actually, you know, we all help each other, and this is an interesting point. Because somebody said, you know, we're wishing that Janine would come back because um, she's actually doing an important part down in South Carolina. And I think what we have to also appreciate is that, you know, Janine was building her life in South Carolina before, you know, Carleen took ill and then the issues with service dogs. So this hadn't featured in Janine's life plan, you know, being up here and Goldie's farm, etc. So, you know, so I think it's important that we need to, you know, we're actually, and this is the tricky part, we're actually expanding. And it's something we can all cope with. We all work together very nicely as a team, and we get there. The animals are well accommodated. Carleen actually is very well accommodated. She gets fantastic meals every evening. It would be lovely if there were more people visiting, but you know what? A lot of people who would ordinarily come visiting, this is not the best time of year to be out skating around in a car. Not much I can tell you. So we're all just trying to get by, and everybody's, you know, very positive, very upbeat, and you also must remember that when Janine does come back, and we're in deepest, darkest summer, and I mean deepest, darkest summer because I have to hide inside because I die in the heat. So so I don't mind doing the winter. Janine helps me out greatly in the summer because the summer heat is just not my thing. I actually have problems breathing in the summer. So we actually play off each other quite nicely. I like the winter, and I love working in a barn. So Janine can have her time away. I'm quite happy for that. But come summer, she's on her own, and I will pop in and out where needed. But honestly, I am not good in the summer. It's a distinct feeling, I can tell you. Yes, Justin has a cat, Cloud. A cat would not get on well with my bird. So the birds are not going down to the ice house any longer. And not only that, they are so noisy. They sing, they chatter all day. They do go to bed at night time, but as soon as there's any daylight, they're back up singing their little hearts out. So no, I don't think Justin would be speaking to me after a week of living with my birds. So unfortunately, they're going to stay with me. But I like having them. They're like constant spring. They sing every day, and it really is just like having spring inside. It's lovely. Now, summer is just Summer is, I'm more concerned about summer weather than I am about winter weather. Put it that way. It's peculiar but true. So so this suits me just nicely. Now, I'm not sure what we're going to do over the weekend apart from panic and watch the skies. But well, in fact, it's Friday tomorrow. It's not Friday today. See, the days are all merging into one. I have no, my birds cannot learn to talk. My birds hiss. They can get a bit a bit grumpy when they get going. And I think it's probably because they've been with well, they're rescue birds and they're a bit older, and I think it's probably because they've always lived as part of an aviary, so they depend on each other as opposed to people. They're not really very interested in people. And one of my daughters actually, we had one of the birds, and he used to sit there, and anytime she walked by the aviary, he would just turn his head and look at her and go, it's really peculiar. But, oh, yes, super fun. Okay, so I am going to go and finish off the barn here and make sure everybody is happy and well attended to. Justin, you'll probably see, he'll be wandering over to go and see Caroline. And then we're all going to bed for the night and get back up and do exactly the same again tomorrow. So I will see you soon. Thank you for joining me. Oh, hello. How are you doing? Fine, fine. I'm so excited about this.